Good evening, Internet. Welcome back to another night of Strange and Scary Games. I'm Mom. That's all just in the background. And tonight we are almost done with our journey through the Madvent calendar. We've got 4 days left to go. We have played through 20 games. We are on to game 21. So let's get into it. Mnemonicism? You've been pulled in for questioning. Police brutality, violence, loud noises, homophobia. I'm not sure about this. Arrows and enter to talk. Hold on a second. Where's good? Put me there. How's that? Let's try the other side too. That one might be better. Transform. Flip horizontal. There we go. Detective, thank you for coming in for questioning. Shouldn't I have a lawyer present? No. Lawyers clog up the process and the situation is still evolving. I would like a lawyer to be present. Why are you in such a hurry to get a lawyer? It is in my best interest to have a lawyer present. There's no reason to get defensive immediately. We can help each other out. I understand, but I still would like a lawyer present. There's a small issue with that, you see. Name and address. You are violating my rights. I won't answer without a lawyer. As far as I'm concerned, you don't have any rights. What do you mean? If you're a fucking skin job, you don't get a lawyer. I'm a sentient being. Please don't call me that. Oh, spare me the trite bullshit. You're so cliché. Pornographically cliché. This whole savior bullshit gets old really quick. Yet I can never get why you cucks end up going through all this effort. Were you that desperate for some pussy? I'm gay, actually. Of course you are. Fucking cocksucker. You dumb enough to think a machine can think? Just because it talks doesn't mean it's got sentience. But you. Now what's the plan? Compare them to slaves? How, just like them, aren't considered... How, just like them, they aren't considered really human until your savior ass shows up to liberate them? So it wouldn't be half as offensive if it wasn't trite, passé, and overdone. Grown from a stupid amalgamation of stories you've read and esoteric bullshit you've dug up. Not to mention ego, a big, fat, cock-sucking ego. You really want to feel special, don't you? Playing dolls with computer chips and plastics. How you're actually a good, moral person. The least you could do is spare me the cliché. They're junk. The only value they have is sentimental. A car that breaks and you need to replace. And I usually shed a tear for a car that worked, not start being weird about car rights. So unlike you, I'll spare you the trouble. And I'll keep it simple and to the point. You're no Abe Lincoln. You're just a sad sack of flesh that never could do anything meaningful, so you started fighting for car rights. Vegans are more tolerable than you. At least animals are sentient. A quick rewrite and their existence changes as we will it. Even without much power, I can compel my reality onto yours. Sigh. Let's actually apply that in a little practical exercise. I'm glad the camera is off for this. You know what this is. A Malcolm MK5 snubnose, 5-shot cylinder, so 12mm, pretty gun. Not just any gun, it's a Malcolm MK5 snubnose revolver, 5 rounds of 12mm short on a hair trigger. Turn the camera on, we'll keep it going. Remind me again, what was your name? Riley Henderson. It should be on the report your officers gave you when I came in. So, Riley, and tell me, where do you live again? It's at the other side of town from where that explosion happened. Is that so? Hey fellas, could you verify that for me? Sure thing, boss. Give us a minute. Seriously? Checks out. So, now that we have your basic info, the situation at hand. Staff, bystanders, millions in property. Not to mention the entire local data node. All those gone in one attack. Quite the severe crime. Many will receive death sentences. Few will get to be recorded when the node is back up. Keep cooperating and you should be free to leave after a few questions. So, what do you know about the underground? Nothing more than what anyone knows. They publish zines about unity and surveillance. That's it? What do you think of their cosmopolitan beliefs? It's all politics and philosophy, I don't care. Why not? Nothing ever happens. Vintage meme, but seriously? Yeah, I don't care. None of it matters. I just want to live on and not starve. Kid, you're more fucked than I thought. Anyhow. Any other comments? We'd always like to hear from a clinker like yourself. Nothing extra, no. Take me through your day so far. How did you end up at the scene? Happenstance. Not much more to it. I'm gonna need details here, if you can. I was getting a beer and noodles at a nearby stand. Why were you there at that point? Can a bot partake in some noodles and beer? So, you see anything? Unfortunately not. Boys, can you believe I am having to talk to this thing? Goddamn humiliation ritual, this badge. I'm done here. Take Riley into the examination room and plug in. Be gentle. Someone has... Be gentle. Someone has use for it yet. We don't need a lawsuit for property damage. The end. Thanks for playing. Was I supposed to get something out of that? It seems to end quite abruptly. This whole situation is quite the mess. I've got a dozen officers running around like headless chickens out there. An entire city block exploding isn't something you see every day. So here we are. Now. I'm gonna ask you a few simple questions to get them on the record here. All standard procedure. What's your name? I asked you for your name. It shouldn't be that complicated. Hello? I asked you a question. You want to help us get to the bottom of this, right? Why are you so quiet, buddy? While you're sitting in that uncomfortable seat, uncomfortable, For all intents and purposes, your ass is glued to it. Your rights don't mean anything in this room. Hell, even if you somehow called the president, you're not leaving. You're stuck here until I decide we're done. I don't care if you came by yourself or if a cop dragged you in. It's all the same to me. You're in my room now. You'll have to play by my rules if you want to get out. Now, I'd like to finish the formalities. We'll have a long day ahead of us if we keep misunderstanding each other. Now that we've got that out of the way, is there anything you want to tell me? I don't appreciate having to repeat myself. You understand? I do, but is there really no point in asking for a lawyer? None at all. Staff, bystanders, millions in property. Not to mention the entire local data node. Frankly, I could get away with summarily executing you right now. I find that hard to believe. Turn the camera off for a second. You know what this is. Not many civvies appreciate these beauties. You surprise me. Turn the camera on. We'll keep it going. Just give me a reason. You can point your gun at me all you want. I'm starting to think you're just hot air. Fine, buddy. I frankly have no time for this kind of bullshit. I didn't miss. Next one I'll put between your eyes. Well, actually, sir, it seems you did miss. And good luck to you. I hope there's pussy in hell. You'll find out when you get there. Okay. Is there like a true ending to this game? Should I keep going or should I call it there? We can go one more loop. Oh. You're welcome. This whole situation is quite the mess. I've got a dozen officers running around like headless chickens out there. An entire city block exploding isn't something you see every day. I thought it was just one building. Yes, you are correct. One building, which was the size of an entire block. So, here we are. Now. I'm going to ask you a few simple questions to get them on the record here. He points to the camera. All standard procedure. That sounds reasonable. Please go ahead, officer. What's your name? I'm model 6079WS. WS is for waste services, officer. My friends call me Winston. Riley Henderson, as it says on my license. All right, Riley. It says here you came in voluntarily today. Is that correct? Yes, it was, officer. I came in as soon as I heard what happened. And Riley, where was it that you said you live? I'm at the other side of town from where the explosion happened. Is that so? Hey, fellas, could you verify that for me? Sure thing, boss. Give us a minute. Seriously? Dot, dot, dot. Checks out. So, now that we have your basic info, the situation at hand. Staff, bystanders, millions in property. Not to mention the entire local data node. All those gone in one attack. Quite the severe crime. Many will receive death sentences. Few will get to be recorded when the node is back up. Keep cooperating and you should be free to leave after a few questions. So, what do you know about the underground? I know they have a chapter in that district. I imagine they're the prime suspects. It's not for you to know. Sure, officer. My bad. Anyhow, take me through your day so far. How did you end up at the scene? Sure, let me. I'm gonna need details here if you can. I was getting a beer and noodles at the nearby stand. Why were you there at that point? The food is just that good, I don't know. So, you see anything? It was way too crowded and loud. There wasn't much I could make out at all. Look, I don't know how you ended up here. Thank you for your cooperation. Humor me. What do you feel about the data center going up? Shook me bad, but was inevitable with the rising tides. I want to leave the city. Yeah, it's gonna be Yeah, it's gonna be some of the few months of all time. You're free to go. Take care. I like the environments. I like the, going through the different dialogues. I wish that there was like a better ending, like something that you were moving towards. I went through and I got 3 endings. So one where you get shot, which would probably be the bad ending. One where you get decommissioned, which would probably be like the second bad ending, like middle bad ending. And then I got You're Free to Go, which seems like a fine ending. I wish that it was like the detective already knows that you were involved in the terrorist attack. And so the questioning is just like a pretense to get you talking for something. And then you could like, so let's say that he needs like your voice or something like that. So the more that you speak, the more that he's recording your voice, the more that he's recording your data, and then he can make a clone of you, and that clone can testify against you or something like that. Some kind of twist at the ending that it's leading towards. Maybe he knows that you were one of the people that planted the bomb. And so he's like, he's dropping hints throughout the conversation. So you're like, I was just at a noodle stand nearby, and he was like, I'll bet those were some good noodles. You're like, yeah, they were fine noodles. And he was like, do you drink some beer too, huh? How many have you drank today? You're like, well, I only had 2. He was like, did you drive here? Like, no, I didn't drive here. I walked over willingly. And he's like, well, I'm glad that you came in of your own accord then. Something like that. It's the mildly threatening, like, I know something that you don't, or you don't know that I know something that you do. Something like that. Let me get out of here. All right. Mnemonicism. Another thing that you might want to consider is the politics and philosophy route. There's a part where you can say, the detective is like, well, what do you think about the data center going up? It would be cool to get into like, well, here's my identity. Like can I interact with that? No, I can't. Well, I'm an android, so I'm able to like keep my data stored up somewhere else. That data center was just for the humans. And he's like, so you don't have any empathy for them? And you can say, no, I do have empathy for them. Like I can't imagine what would happen if my data was erased, or I I have a lot of sympathy for them because I've been erased before or something like that. So having a little bit more of an ending, just like what are you heading towards? What is the writing heading towards? And then having like a little bit more in the politics and philosophy. What are the politics of this city? What is the significance of the data center? All of that, like the stuff that the audience doesn't know that the two characters know, and getting that across to the audience. So just focusing on that writing a little bit, and I think that it'll be a stronger like writing experience. Yeah. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you all for joining me for another night of Strange and Scary Games. I love you. I'll see you in the next video. Good night.